And hey, Mr. Erik.
Surprise!
Surprise! How are you doing?
My eyes are barely open.
Yeah, same. I think that's about everyone around this area, right?
Yeah,
everyone up here is like, rah!
Yeah, we're like,
we made it.
We don't know what sleep is anymore, right?
Exactly. But here we are on a Monday, and we're so excited to be with you. Thank you for joining us for 3 Themes at 3, where theme number 1 is something to smile about, theme number 2 is something to learn, and theme number 3 is something to discover. Let's go. All right, welcome back to 3 Themes at 3, everyone. Oh my goodness, what a week we have just finished, right? I got Allison here with us as well.
It has been like running a marathon, hasn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm out of breath.
Yeah.
What
I know
about
the
you?
alarm went off today, and I'm like, really?
I think that's what I was saying every day when the alarm would go off. I mean, because honestly, we just finished with TUGG, which is the ultimate girlfriend getaway. And with doing so, every day was jam-packed from morning until night. And I don't think that we're alone when we say that we were pooped. And many of the TUGG attendees felt that way as well.
Yeah, it was quiet bus rides home, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, but it was so much fun, wasn't it?
It really was so
I mean,
much fun.
like we had a blast.
Yes, absolutely. And we would do it again next year.
And no, we don't know the dates yet.
Yeah, that's right. But so much fun. And it, you know, there is nothing better than seeing our friends out there in person.
Right.
It's just the best feeling in the world.
Right.
Yeah, it's really lovely to like connect. I've worked behind the camera and behind the computer for so long.
Yeah.
And I see these faces that attend our classes.
Yes.
And to actually put the person with the personality is really fantastic.
Oh my goodness, isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. What would you say was a favorite part for you, Allison?
Oh, wow. Okay, do you want funny or sentimental? Because I have a little bit of both.
Okay, how about do them both? Why not?
Okay,
I want to
all
hear
right.
both of them.
So I was about ready to beat Kyle, but we had an improv night, right? So we had an improv night, and they needed a volunteer, and Kyle starts yelling my name.
Yes.
And I don't know how they heard it,
You know
but they
what?
picked
They
up
could
on
not
that.
have found a more perfect person to go up there.
Well,
seriously.
It
You did
was
so
really
good.
fun. I was so scared. And Jackie's like, your voice was quivering. I could tell you were scared, but that was really fun.
Yeah.
You
really
were
fun.
awesome too. Like
Yeah, you
it
did
wasn't
great.
it wasn't like I didn't feel like watching you that you didn't know what you were doing. Like it
Well,
seemed
I have
so
to
natural.
thank both of you because the whole part of the improv was a TUGG owner's manual, so to speak. Well, we had done a video where Erik had written it, and Kris and I had actually had to memorize, so to speak, lines and done it over and over and over again in our heads. So you saved me, Erik, because if I would have had to come up with something.
Had we known.
Yeah. So that was
too funny. So that was a highlight
The
for you.
sentimental part, it's bittersweet. It's my favorite and worst part. And it's kind of the culmination, the end, the last dinner where we're all together.
Yes.
Because I feel like you learn and renew friendships and make new friendships and interact, and all of a sudden at the very end, it's like we're a little bit of a family. And I feel like that even if people don't come to TUGG, I feel like that. But I do feel like especially at TUGG, where really you're with these people from 7 a.m. until midnight.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And then we do it again the next day, 7 a.m. to midnight. And it's bittersweet. It's sad to hug them goodbye, but at the same time, it's nice to enjoy that moment of where it's all culminated. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you take a deep sigh of relief and say, wow, look at what we're able to be a part of, right?
Right.
What about you, Erik,
Yeah,
Mr. Filmer
yeah.
and extraordinaire?
Well, you know, there's so many things that happened I thought that were really positive. I really loved talking to the people on an individual level.
Yeah.
And some of them, boy, there are some of you out there that are really, really funny. And, you know, just the little things that they would do or say, and just like catching me off guard, and I'm laughing out loud, and you know, people would walk by and they would drop stuff in front of me because I was over there running the mixing board a lot, and and you know, treats and presents, and like just laughing out loud with them. I really, really, really loved that. And I would agree with Allison a little bit, because you know, me and my team. And I have to give a big shout out to them.
Yes, absolutely.
Because, you know, I had to smile and also cry at the same time as I watched like Steve holding that Campbell on a gimbal for an hour and a half. And I just know that his arms are on fire, and he's not complaining. And it was just incredible. And Abby was struggling with some back issues, and she was there editing our exit video the whole time. And it was just incredible to watch that and be a part of it. And get to pick up the camera and capture some of these moments as well. But at the end, we show this exit video. And, you know, we had talked a lot about what we wanted to do this year. And as a filmmaker, you work crazy hard. You just really do, and you don't stop the entire time that you're there. And when that video came up and people were oohing and aahing and laughing, and some were crying by the time, you really feel like you have come together as a group, and you experience this thing together. And this year I was right up close to the screen, and so it was kind of larger than life for me. And as I watched this happen, and I was listening to everyone participate, you know, I looked at both of them, and I just was like, this is why we do what we do.
This is why we do what we do.
And it was just so rewarding, and it was beautiful, and you know, we had some people that really, really touched them, and to feel like you've been a part of something like that, where you have contributed to someone's life some way, it was really, really great.
Absolutely, I totally agree. Well, we have some photos that will hopefully bring a smile to you today, as we kind of, you know, just do a little recap of what happened during TUGG for theme number 1 today. So I hope you don't mind if we take a little trip down memory lane for just a moment. So when they first came here to Logan, they had options of being able to go see Kimberbell, and many took a tour of Kimberbell headquarters, and then of course they came and visited my girlfriend's quill shop. In the top left, you see pictures of our team that were all on opening night that wore the t-shirt, "Here to Help," and that's exactly what they did. It was just such a treat to have people from all over the country come and visit us in every way. You know, and by coming early, they were also able to see a viewing of Three Themes at 3, which was, I think, just kind of fun for them to see behind the scenes of what happens every day here on Three Themes at 3. Here's the set, and we had, you know, an audience, which was so fun. And then, of course, we also, on the last day, had an opportunity to go visit the Garden of Quilts, which was down at Thanksgiving Point in the Salt Lake City area. And I'll tell you, there's nothing so special as seeing quilts floating in the wind. It was absolutely mesmerizing. You know, it was so fun. We had, you know, we had a chance to go to Garden Quilts, but we also had a chance to go see the aquarium, which is that interesting looking object that you see on the bottom left.
Do you know what that is?
What is that, Erik?
That is the old set from a U2 tour.
Really?
Yeah, the rock band
And
U2.
they used it in the Olympics,
I
in the
didn't
opening
realize
ceremonies.
that. Okay, well, that's right outside the aquarium. So, you know, that always grabs people's attention for sure. You know, friends, young, old, brand new, or have been with us for a long time. There you see cute Robbie. He was one of our team leaders, and cute Nanette Grohl, who is, you know, just absolutely fell in love with him. And who wouldn't, right? Robbie's
Right.
just such a fun guy.
His Where's Waldo thing was
It was so cute.
perfect.
He was like,
Yeah.
where's Waldo, where's Robbie, right? All right, then we had a wonderful presentation from Will Wood, who is the owner of Love to Cook here in Logan, Utah. And he gave a chocolate presentation, but he gave so much more. He shared this beautiful book that he had written in dedication to his mother, who had passed away earlier. And I think that was a true highlight for me. What about you guys?
Oh yeah, that was very touching.
Yeah, it was really. I wondered how this was going to go, but
Yeah.
he you know made chocolate. We all got to eat chocolate dipped strawberries, which was fun.
Yeah.
But then, like, we were having a good laugh, and then we
Ah.
went to the book, and again, that was one of those moments where we all kind of like had the feels. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And then, you know, that was on one night. So the entertainment happens every night, in addition to making different projects on the sewing machines, embroidery machines, and sergers. So Will Wood was our entertainer for Thursday night, and then Friday night we had the Johnson Files, and that's who you see on the stage with me down below, and they were an absolute riot. We just had such a great time, laughing our heads off. It was wonderful. Such a good feeling to be able to kind of, you know, kind of block out some of the cares of the world for a moment and just enjoy having a good time. And laughter, of course, is always good for the soul. And then, of course, we have our two leaders in, you know, their flamingo costumes. You've got to always count on them for a good laugh. And giraffes, they were one another day. I mean, who knew what they were going to show up each day in? And then the whole team. I mean, it takes a village. It's not just a few people. It takes a village to put on something like this. And so whenever possible, I was trying to make sure that they were recognized, and they came up to the stage, and we were dancing and just having a good time. In fact, what did Sherry say to you, Allison?
Sherry said that when we watched the final video, we think that we are such good dancers. We are going to invest in some company-wide dance lessons this year.
I don't even claim to be a good dancer.
Jackie's the only one that is exempt from that.
That's right. She could keep the groove for sure. And even cute Marie Cobley from Rhode Island, and my daughter Rachel, it was her bucket list item to learn how to tap dance, and Marie delivered and showed her how to tap dance. And it was so much fun to be able to see their little mini recital on Friday night.
Oh
so
yeah,
much
they got
fun.
a standing ovation. That
Yeah,
was,
they
it was
did.
incredible. Yeah.
Yep. And then we've got, again, some more photos from behind the scenes with 3 at 3. And, you know, just people could come and have their picture taken on the green chairs, and just being able to see, there's Robbie, where's Waldo again, there with one of his team members, and Beth, and just so many picture opportunities for sure. So lots and lots of fun. So, yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, and you know, we were talking earlier just about what it felt like when we came to the end.
Yeah.
And it's bittersweet, isn't it? Like,
It really is.
on
yeah.
one hand, you feel like we have come together, we've experienced a thing, we've gone down the road together,
Yeah.
and we reminisced just how much fun we had,
Yeah.
and all the things we learned,
Yeah.
and then we leave, and it
it's
becomes
over.
it's hard. Like,
It's a loss.
And
I mean, I
Yeah.
cry every time, and I
Yeah.
don't know whether it's exhaustion or letdown or loss. I
That's
mean, you know,
right.
because it's really hard. But I walked across the parking lot. My bus ended, and I got all my ladies into their appropriate spots.
Yeah.
And I walked across the parking lot in into my car with just tears streaming down my face because I felt a little bit of a loss.
Yeah, and I was telling my team, I said, you know, at the end of this, you know, you have a lot of fun and it's crazy hard work.
Yeah.
And then you walk away, and it happens every year that we do this.
Yeah.
I have this solemn walk to the car, and I get in the car and I go, well, what am I going to do now?
I know.
Right.
Well, already starting for next
And
year.
then it's Logan, Utah. So when I say, what am I going to do now? My first thought is, I am going to get a Diet Coke and that will fix everything. And then every place was closed.
Oh, no, you
I had to drive the whole way home.
You should have gone to Jack in the Box. They're open 24/7.
Oh,
my
they
friend.
are?
Yes, I had to
I did
stop
not
there
know
on my
that.
way home. 11:30 at night. But such a great time, really great time. Someone asked, I thought Melissa Gilbert was supposed to be there. Unfortunately, she had to leave the day prior to when we had scheduled. It was one of those things that are beyond your control. But we were so grateful because our friend Jenny Doan was able to step in for her, and we had a wonderful visit with her, and had a question and answer period with her, and it was great. It was great.
She had
to
a great
learn
message
about what she was doing in the next couple of years, and she did have a great message about putting quilts out to the world. So it was just all in all. For those of you, if you've never been to TUGG, I would encourage you to really seriously consider this as perhaps a bucket list item.
Right.
I know you will not regret it. I hope those who have been have felt that way, that it was something that is hard to describe. It is unlike anything else you've been to. TUGG stands for the ultimate girlfriend getaway. And with that, it's not just sewing and quilting and embroidery. It is actually so much more. And so we would invite all of you, we want all of you to be able to have the opportunity to come to Logan, and it will be sometime again next year. We don't have dates yet, but as soon as we do, we'll make sure and let you know. And I think it's something that is worthwhile to come to at least once. And
come alone.
And come alone.
Because you're only alone for a second.
Exactly. That's exactly right. I think, when we think about what was a highlight for us, for me, it certainly is seeing the friendships that are being formed amongst people. And it blows my mind every single year, but it does happen.
It really does. I remember just from the get-go, because I'm chasing people around with cameras, right?
That's right.
Kind of maybe annoyingly so, but everyone was introducing themselves. Where are you from? What's your name?
Yes.
Have you been here before? These kinds of things. And in this intro video that we did this year, we said, you have found your people, and they did. They had found their people.
Yeah.
And so it was really, really fun just to watch them come together and discover each other.
Yeah.
And a lot of them was their first year.
Yeah,
And,
definitely.
And they enjoyed like every second of it.
Yeah.
So it was really great.
Did you have a good time, Erik?
I did. That's the only hesitation I have is we do a lot, and I literally am like speed walking everywhere I go, trying to get something done.
Right.
And even when I'm running with the camera, I run to a place and I push the button and I record a thing, and then I'm out, and I'm doing that all the time. And so, in the midst of it, you're like, okay, just get through the next thing, get to the next thing, get it done, get it done.
Yeah.
And then your phone rings, and then you have to run somewhere else. Or it was funny, like we had the presenters' batteries all went out at the same time.
Oh no!
So these things happen, and so I'm trying to fix all those problems at the same time. But I think at the end, for me anyway, you get to know these people a lot more on a personal level.
Yeah.
And that's where the bittersweet comes from, because by the time you're done, I'm like, it kind of feels like family here.
Right.
And now you're like, right when you're getting to that pinnacle of we know each other, everyone goes home.
Yeah. Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks you guys for coming on and just sharing this little recap with everyone. And I'm just grateful for those of you who are able to attend, and I know so many more wanted to. And I would just encourage you that if this is something you want to do, that you definitely, start saving now. We know it is
Yeah,
an expense, absolutely, and we don't take
Absolutely.
that for granted. That's why we try to pack in as much as we can to make it worth your while. So, all right. Well, we hope that brought a smile to you on theme number 1. And this week, let's talk about what we're talking about,
Okay.
right? Shall we? On 3 Themes at 3, what is the theme this week? It is, are you ready for this? Hashtag cutesy, not creepy. Right?
This is directed at me. I feel like I need to take this literally to heart.
Oh my goodness, we got to get ready for Halloween. It's just around the corner. Who would have thought? I mean, seriously, we're like 2 weeks away from
Right.
October. I can't believe it. So all this week, we have some really fun Halloween-inspired projects, but we don't really like the creepy stuff. So
Some of us don't really like the
stick with
creepy
us
stuff.
on the cutesy, not creepy hashtag going on this week. So let's go ahead. Allison and I are going to head over to the sewing table and share a fun project with you that's something that will be around all autumn long, the entire season. Doesn't have to be Halloween. And while we do so, let's check out the caterpillar, shall we?
3 models to choose from. The Basic is the thinnest, lightest board on the market. It has 10,000 hour rated LEDs. That's 3 hours a day for 10 years. The Premium is the only cordless light board on the market. A 45-minute charge in its internal lithium battery will give 3 to 4 hours of uncorded use on the brightest setting. The Ultra is the biggest and brightest light board on the market, 26 by 19 inches. Tough and useful totes in every size protect your glow at home and on the road. Replacement and speciality ungridded cutting mats will give the light board endless uses, can be used with any cutting tools. The mixed media tempered glass mat opens up the glow's use exponentially. It is impervious to stamps, paints, glues, inks, and even heat. You can iron right on the glass.
All right, here we go. So we noticed in the comments, Debbie, that you're still waiting on yours from when the owner was there. Call customer care. They will look into that for you because those were actually being shipped directly from Caterpillar.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we won't have an answer,
No.
but we definitely can get a message to Caterpillar.
definitely. All right, friends. Well, cutesy not creepy is the theme this week, and a shout out to Crystal who put together today's pattern for you. Look how adorable these little pumpkin pillows are.
I know, they are so cutesy.
Not
creepy at all.
Definitely not creepy. And like I said earlier, these are a project that you could have out for the fall.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if it could be up all autumn. Or even if you're doing Halloween, you could even put a jack-o'-lantern face on there.
Well, and
if you
as I was
wanted to.
looking at this, I mean, how cute, because just a little tweaks in these could be a peach or an apple or a
that's true.
cherry or just whatever you want.
That's
Absolutely,
one of the things
darling.
I love about the pumpkin shape.
Yes.
Is depending on what fabrics you use, you could use it for all kinds of things, right?
Yep.
So there you go. This is actually what inspired her to do it. Were these pillow forms, right? We are probably familiar with these pillow forms from Kimberbell. They're the round pillow forms. I believe they're 12 inches. And she said, you know what, this would be really cute as a pumpkin.
And
So there
round
we
pillows
go.
are all the rage lately.
Yes, they
I mean,
are.
you know, velveteen and round pillows are really making a comeback, really having a moment. So
Definitely. And of course, we have a pattern for you today as well on how these are done. So let's go ahead and get started with the basics of this, all right? First off, you're gonna cut a square piece of fabric, and I've done it with orange. And you could quilt these beforehand, but you don't have to. It's completely up to you. But how much cuter is it quilted, Allison?
well, I don't know. Those of you that have watched Kris and I before, gosh, Kris, why did you quilt that in black?
You're throwing me under the bus, Allison.
I'm just saying. Cinnamon popcorn,
Cinnamon
snow
popcorn,
cones,
okay,
and black.
fine.
What happened?
Fine, I'll share with everyone my little secret here. So, this is
Man,
I
karma.
went ahead and quilted this, yeah, for sure. And I did it with clear blue tiles, which I think is absolutely adorable. In fact, would you believe I did this with 4 different hoopings? I did this in 4 hoopings, and I could have done it in 1 or 2 hoopings, depending on, you know, the size hoop that I decided to do. But with this one, I decided to break it up into 4. And this is your public service announcement to everyone, folks. When you use what you think is a friction pin, make sure it's a friction pin. So I started.
I am not the only one.
I started my clear blue tiles, and those of you who've done them before, you know that you mark them. And so I start marking it. I pulled this out of the drawer, thought it was a friction pin. Oh no, it was permanent. So as I like to say around here, everything's figure-outable. So therefore, black thread it was.
Yes, can't even tell.
Can't even tell. Like, you know, if I just kind of go like this, you'll, no idea, right? No idea. So there you go. There's your PSA for the day. So with this, why don't you talk about how fun clear blue tiles is for a moment?
Okay, so hang with us till the end because we're going to talk about clear blue tiles in depth. But with this, basically, you have this tile that you will lay on here. And so you can choose any type of background. Some of the fun things you can see on these pillows right here, we match the thread, but this is the little candy corn, which makes it a little bit more Halloween. But this one is just simply a swirl. And it actually comes with the clear blue tile, right? So you just lay this here and just mark this, and so we just created a square to start.
Okay, so from there, there's actually a template for creating the circle here. All right, but obviously it's a really big circle, so we can't just get it all on one page.
Right.
So we've got the circle template on the fold in the fold. Now I'm going to show you one of my favorite things to use when it comes time to tracing templates. If I'm trying to do something where I don't want to use heat and bond on it, you know what it is, folks?
It's a common household item.
Right here. Freezer paper.
My husband always wants to know why we keep our freezer paper in the sewing room.
You're like, oh, there's so many opportunities to use freezer paper when it comes to sewing.
Don't tell him. I just tell him it's because the box is too big to fit in the kitchen counter.
Oh, that actually works really well. So here what I've done is I've taken a piece of freezer paper. Now, freezer paper has a shiny side to it, and then it has a paper side. All I'm doing is I'm folding it in half and in half again to create quarters. And then from there, I'm going to use the caterpillar here. Let's go ahead and turn that on. There you go.
So
Pull
fun.
this
Here, I'm
aside.
going to hold that. Why don't I hold
Okay,
this?
perfect.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to open this up and just place this right underneath so that I can see
this
it.
is the thing you don't know you need until you don't have it, and then you're like trying to hold this up against the window. Everybody needs this caterpillar light board.
Absolutely. And I'm just tracing this, okay? Now I don't need to trace this because I have the fold, but for kicks and giggles I will. Okay, so that is my template. And then I'm gonna fold it back.
I
and cut
see
it.
what you're doing here. Brilliant.
Yeah. There we go. I'm just gonna cut it on that little arc here. All right, and now I have a circle. And this is the circle I need for my pumpkin. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is you're going to create the front of the pumpkin. And as we mentioned before, we use clear blue tiles to do this. In fact, Janet says she likes it with the black so that it shows up. And
Yes,
that
absolutely.
is very, very true. Now, this circle is obviously is covering all of this. Now, this is what's so nice about using freezer paper. For those of you who've used freezer paper, you know exactly what's gonna happen. I'm gonna have Allison use her favorite tool, which is the iron, not the glue gun. And she's gonna use the iron, and with the shiny side down, this is going to fuse on top of my background, all right? And with that being done, then this actually will stick, and I have something to follow around the circles. So why don't you go ahead and do that, Allison?
Well, twist my arm.
Yes, exactly. I know, you're so excited about it. There we go. Okay, so we've got the iron over there, and you're just gonna go ahead and place it on there. And
It's kind of like magic. I mean, you
It
know,
really
yeah, it
is.
really is. I mean, and the thing about it is that after we get done with this template, we can just use it and reuse it, and it's good for, gosh, I would
Exactly.
say 3, 4, 5 times.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So there's no sticky residue that's left or anything. So now I have a perfect circle.
Da, 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 da.
There you go. All right, and now I have a place to follow and cut this out.
This is where I use scissors because that rotary blade scares the crap out of me. Just freewheeling and freehanding it like
I'm
that.
gonna do my best. All right. There we go. I probably cut mine just a titch too big, but that's okay. Okay. And as Allison mentioned, look at this. This peels right off. Right off. And I don't have any sticky residue. Have you guys done this before where you've used freezer paper to make templates? It really works fantastic. All right, so just gonna trim that up a little bit there. And some of this I probably should have just done just a titch smaller, but that's okay. You can either trim it up, or if you used like a 1/2-inch seam allowance around this, you'd be just fine.
Or, you know, Kris, you could really fold this back in quarters again, take off some of
Take
that
off a
arc,
little bit more.
and then iron it right back on.
That's a good idea too. So yeah, you certainly could do that and just do another little cut.
Yeah.
So there we go. Brenda says she's never used that method before.
Oh,
Nice, I'm
Brenda,
so glad
I'm glad
we were
we
able
did
to
it.
share something with you today. So you have your front piece done, and then all you have to do is go ahead and embellish it however you'd like. So right here, what Crystal did was she just took some scraps of fabric and just cut them into squares, and then just fuse them on the top.
Yep.
Okay, so, but I think how fun would it be also if you wanted to make it into a jack-o'-lantern?
Well, how
right?
fun would it be? I'm thinking, so this is what I'm thinking. I don't know, maybe I'm ambitious, but we always have a pumpkin carving contest with our kids. And I hate the mess.
Yeah.
I really hate the mess. How fun would it be if I just had black fabric and they did it and we could take it home as pillows this year?
Oh, there you go. That's a fun idea
Lasts
too.
a whole heck of a lot longer.
Yeah, yes, it would, and not nearly as much mess. Marianne said she thinks that she would like a top and bottom to be a little flat. You could certainly do that too.
There's no perfect pumpkin.
There is no perfect
right.
pumpkin, exactly. Now, you'll notice one of the things that's cute about this pumpkin is that it is using cork fabric. So how do we get the cork fabric to be front and back? Well, let me show you a little tip for that. So let's see, where did my cork go?
It's right here.
Oh, yep. Okay. So what I did with the cork fabric was I also traced the little stem on freezer paper, and then I ironed it to the front, folded it in half, and now I have a template for that. But I'm going to have you go ahead, Allison, and let's put an iron to it again. Again, it peels off, it goes back on, and now you have a front and back that is the same. So let's go ahead and do that. Yes, William, variegated thread would be really pretty. I love that idea. And Anne said, could you use an embroidery design for the face after you did the quilting? Absolutely. That's a great idea as well. Okay, so you can see here that this has been ironed on. It's not going to come off. Don't we love freezer paper templates? I love them.
Oh, I do too.
Love them. Now, what I thought would make this super simple is, why don't you fold it in half with the wrong sides together? And Allison, I'm going to give this to you.
Okay.
We have black thread in the sewing machine, and I'm going to have her stitch all the way around the outside of the stem. What that's going to do is it's going to now stitch the 2 layers of cork together, and then we'll just trim about a 1/16 of an inch all the way around the outside.
Okay. So I'm going to just use that. I'm going to actually turn on the guide beam. I'm using the Altair 2, and it has this fun little guide beam on here. So I'm going to put this down, but I'm going to use the guide beam so that I can see and just kind of use that outside as my line. Oh, well, I was wondering why I was going so slow. Somebody has turned that stitch
All the way down?
all the way down.
Anne is saying she loves all things Halloween. Anne is suggesting, how about glow-in-the-dark thread?
Oh,
that would be adorable.
Fun. Yeah, that would be really fun.
I love that idea. Have you ever seen a perfect stem on a pumpkin?
No.
So
what,
here
as I'm being
again-
so perfect, you're like, Allison.
No,
There's no perfect
I'm
stem.
thinking, you know what? It's good to remind ourselves that that doesn't even have to be perfect. This is a very, very forgiving project for sure. All right, let's take a look down here, and you can see that she has stitched all the way around. Perfect. Looking good, looking good. And then I'm just going to trim this just a little bit outside of that line. Now I have both pieces of cork that have been stitched together. All right.
How easy was that?
So simple. I mean, these pillows will go together so quickly. All right, so your stem is all complete. Now, one of the things that I think really adds the cuteness factor to this project is right here, Allison. And that's how Crystal was able to take a leaf applique, and she also has this darling twine rope that comes down and is kind of curly cued. So like you could just kind of wrap it around and have this twine coming out. Cindy said wonky pumpkins have more personality. I
Absolutely.
totally agree.
I agree too.
I love that, Cindy. Very true. And this is one of those wonky and whimsical pumpkins for sure. Now, let me share with you how this part is done, because this is really a cool technique. So many of you have heard of Terril Magic. It's a product we love, absolutely love here at my girlfriend's quilt shop. And I don't have the actual bottle in it, but I put it in a spray bottle here. But it tells me right there it's Terril Magic, because I don't want to get it mixed up with my water.
Right.
You can definitely smell it though, so it's not too bad.
I know, but at home, when I have not labeled it, I have ironed my husband's shirt with Terril Magic. Now, he looks pretty dang starch.
Yeah, that's right. And Allison, why don't you tell everyone, what is Terril Magic used for?
Well, Terril Magic is a a kind of a starch, so to speak. And we use Material Magic around here a lot when we are trying to machine embroider, or if we are using really small pieces when we are piecing, because we don't want the fabric to stretch. We want to get a really great surface for us to stitch on.
Exactly, and the more you use of it, the stiffer that fabric will become. So one of the things you do,
if you use Material Magic, if you layer it, iron it, layer it, iron it. Jackie and I have done a 3 at 3 where you can actually get your paper stiff enough that you can send it through a photo printer.
Yep, that's exactly right. So really, really cool product to have on hand for sure. Whether you machine embroider or you just enjoy sewing and crafting, Material Magic is definitely a game changer. So what I did here earlier was I went ahead and traced the leaf that is found on the pattern right here. You can notice the vines there. And so one of the things that you could do is trace the vines and then, you know, through your light board and then be able to stitch right on top of them. Once that is finished, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the Material Magic. Now, notice, maybe you might not have noticed because I did it while the camera was off, but I grabbed the tempered glass mat from Caterpillar as well here, just so that I could spray my surface. It wouldn't get on my cutting mat. And I'm just going to allow it to dry. And notice how it kind of curls up.
Just like in nature.
Exactly. And I love, love, love this. And actually, I did have some heat and bond on it earlier because I was trying to trace it. We were thinking that a couple things here, Allison. One of the things you could do is you could applique this onto the pumpkin if you wanted to.
But it would be more flat.
Yep. Or if you wanted to use the freezer paper method, that's something you could do as well. And you wouldn't have anything on the back. So either way is just fine. Whatever you have on hand, use either one, but that's how you're gonna get your leaf shape. Notice I'm kind of crunching it up a little bit, and then I'm going to allow it to air dry. I don't want to have it be flat.
No.
I want it to have a little bit of curl to it, okay? Now the other thing we're also going to add Material Magic to is the rope, all right? So with this,
You're gonna need a shower when you're done.
That's right. I'm gonna wrap it around the pencil, just like this, so that we get a curly Q happening here. And then I'm going to spray that
Do you want a little
as well.
Kimberbell tape on the end?
Ooh, that's not a bad idea. I should have probably put it at the beginning.
Now it might,
not stick. That's a really good idea. Let's see if we can, yeah, that's not bad. Okay, so again, just spraying that quite a bit.
Yeah,
and
you
then,
want to saturate it and let it dry.
Yep, and then just let it dry. So I'm just gonna let it dry right here on my tempered glass.
Tune in tomorrow. I'm just teasing.
That's right. So it's going to take a little bit of time to dry, but the results are worth it because look how adorable that is to have the little curly Q vines coming off of the pillow. So once that is all put together, of course, you're going to do your envelope closure. All the instructions are in your pattern, and then you just stuff it with a 12-inch Kimberbell pillow form. And these are so easy. You could make a whole pumpkin patch.
Oh,
there you go. Which one's the cutest one in the patch? I don't know. You'll have to try it out and see, right?
Right.
So there you have it. We hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and I'm kind of excited about this. So,
you know, one thing that I just thought of, and these are found under new releases.
Yeah.
We have a light and a dark orange kit,
yes,
plus the pattern, but guess what we didn't add?
What?
The round pillow.
Oh.
So if you're looking for the round pillows, after we're done, give me about 10 minutes, and I will make sure that the round pillows are also under new releases for you as well.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, because they definitely need a round pillow.
Yeah, you do need a round pillow.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so there is that. And as we finish this up, we're going to go ahead and move into theme number 3, where we have some tips for you on how clear blue tiles work. All right, even if you've never been at an embroidery machine, I think it's something you're going to really learn something from.
Right.
So we want to show you that as part of our discovery. And while we do so, let's go ahead and take a look at another clear blue tile little tutorial.
Hi, I'm Sherry with my girlfriend's quilt shop, and we're going to show you how to make a project with clear blue tiles.
All right. Sounds like they are adding the pillow form as we speak. So if you're
Yes.
looking for that,
It's like magic.
I know.
You talk out loud and then it's like, and they are doing it.
there we go. Thanks, team. It takes a village.
Yes.
All right. So let's talk a little bit more about clear blue tiles. It's one of our favorite products ever
Wow.
invented by Kimberbell, right?
If I don't use my clear blue tiles at least once or twice a week,
Yeah.
I'm not in my sewing room.
Exactly. I use it all the time for just
too.
about everything. So let's take a quick look at what exactly it is. This is the essential set. This is the set that everybody needs if you're going to get started with clear blue tiles. And what it is it's filled with tiles.
Yes.
Blue tiles, to be exact. And this is what allows you to quilt on your embroidery machine. Now, this is a 13 by 13 inch square. I'm going to hoop mine 4 times. Okay, I'm using the 6 by 6 design. Now, I could hoop it less if I had a larger hoop, but in order to show some tips today, I decided to choose the smaller design. Now, knowing that this is going to be sewn, or actually cut off because I'm doing it in a round circle, I wasn't too worried about bringing it all the way
Right.
to the very end. So that's why you see me starting here. Now, the arrow always goes up, okay? And then you have your lines on each of the crosshairs. And then we have to mark with these little markings right here so that we know where to place our next tile.
Right.
So now if I were using lots of different tiles, I would mark the size right here. This is what I'm going to use throughout the entire project is 6 by 6. So I really don't have to put 6 by 6, but I'm going to go ahead and write that right there anyway for today. Now I lift this up and I place it right here. See how the markings just go here to here, here to here, and now I know I'm in the right place. What happens when we do this is that this is, you know, I want you to think of this like a stamp. Whatever fits underneath the blue area is what is going to be stitched out. So it's as if I were taking this, putting it on a stamp pad, and then placing it right there. If the blue tile covers it, that's where my design goes as well. So I take this one, I come right down here, I'm lining this one up, right there. And I've lined these lines up and I just do quick marks. Now, when I say quick marks, notice that I'm not scribbling back and forth. Sometimes people have problems with your marks appearing. It's because you might be digging too far into that fabric, all right? I've never had a problem with my marks not coming out, and it's because I just do quick marks and then I use a spray bottle of water afterwards to remove them.
Right.
All right, and then this is the last one. So where you see these center dots, let's see if we can come up a little closer on this shot. Where you see these center dots is where the crosshair is, and that's where your needle is going to go. All right, now this is really important to remember. My needle goes there, right where that little dot is. My needle is gonna go right here, right where that little dot is, and so forth, around all 4 times. Now, one of my tips I like to share when using clear glue tiles is I say, use the biggest hoop that you can, even if it's a smaller design, and this is why. So, what I like to do is I take my hoop and I loosen the screw as much as possible. Okay.
This is also where if you can or do have magnetic hoops,
yes,
they are fantastic
absolutely,
for this. Really
absolutely.
a game changer.
Definitely. And then from this point, I can see right now that it's not straight. But even if it wasn't straight, because I have my crosshairs, I could move that needle exactly where I wanted it to go and even change the angle a little bit and know that it was exactly where it needed to go. So I love having bigger hoops even with the smaller designs.
I like big hoops and I
cannot
cannot lie.
Exactly, that was too good to pass up, right?
Yeah.
All right, Allison, let's go ahead and put that on the embroidery machine now.
Okay, so what I've done is while we were on our break, switched this machine out into the embroidery unit. So we left the black thread in. I said, gosh, boss, that looked so good last time that we probably want to keep that black thread in.
There you go.
And I'm going to just slide this in. I have loaded on my embroidery machine the 6x6 fall design on here. I'm going to set it and I'm going to embroidery. Oh no, it's in the middle. What am I going to do? Just going to hit this layout and I'm going to move. And I'm going to actually adjust.
And take a look at this, Allison. You could use that W on there, yep, which shows the light.
I'm going to adjust it up right till I can get that centered. Are you going to show me something else, or am I doing it right?
No, you're doing it great. You're doing a great job. Okay,
I'm going to get that right.
All we're working on is just getting this simply with the needle over top of the crosshair. Okay, that's all you have to do. Go ahead and put your presser foot down, and let's watch this stitch for just a moment.
And the magic happens.
And the magic happens, and I really do like that black on there. I think that's kind of fun. It really shows off the design really well.
Yep.
So Marcia said she uses Kimberbell paper tape, puts her marks on the template and marks on the tape. Then once it's lined up on her embroidery machine, she takes the tape off prior to embroidering.
That's a great idea.
Which is also an excellent idea, for sure. And I will do that too, Marcia, especially at times when I can't see the marks on the regular fabric.
Right.
Maybe I'm using a dark fabric and I can't see where the marks are. Then tape is going to be your best friend. and you just place it right underneath that clear blue tile and then mark the tape. And that really is an excellent way to go, absolutely.
This is a perfect time for me to put a plug in on my new favorite machine that hasn't even come out yet, the Radiance.
Yes.
And they have thought of everything with that Radiance, and there are actually 16 colors. So if you are using a guide beam that you can't see on a dark color, you can just simply change the color.
Exactly.
Just saying, call me if you have questions about the Radiance.
I like that for sure. Yeah, definitely. And I guess while that's stitching out, we should also mention that this coming Thursday, we are doing our new machine launch party. We have it both in-store event that morning at 10:30, or for those of you who don't live near us, we have the virtual event, let's see, at 5 p.m. on Thursday. We would love for you to join us for that. You do need to register because it will be on a private Zoom link, and that way we can give you pricing and all the information on the new machines for both the Baby Lock Radiance as well as the brand new Baby Lock Applause, which is, or Applaud.
Yep, with a D, applaud.
A D. I'm always like, applause, applaud. Either way, it's something to shout.
Either way,
from
we're
the rooftop
clapping and
store.
cheering from the
Exactly.
rooftops.
Exactly, and that's that brand new cover stitch machine. So anyway, lots of fun things to talk about on Thursday. So be sure and sign up for that. You can do so on our website, and we'll help you figure all that out. Cindy says she's waiting for a call from Mike. All right, I'll put a bug in his ear, Cindy. I know he's been really busy cleaning up from TUGG, but we'll make sure he gives you a call for sure. All right, Marion is asking, if doing a larger project, do you start marking in the middle or the upper corner? I always do from the upper corner.
I do too.
So it's just kind of my thing.
But
so,
you and I both tape down the entire perimeter on our project, and so.
And we just used regular embroidery thread on this. So it's just a regular 40 weight embroidery thread. So let's take a real quick look right here at the project again, because you can see that all you have to do is now just simply remove the top hoop, scooch this over, and now I'm going to find again and place my needle over that center point. Now, because of time, I'm not going to do that right now, but you can see here how simple clear blue tiles really, really is. All right, so again, we would put this into the machine, you would find your crosshairs and you move that needle position right over the center. Then when you stitch it out, it's going to stitch this out, and you're not going to know the difference between where you started and where you ended. It's amazing.
And that was a 2-minute stitch out, so literally in 8 minutes you have the entire front of your pumpkin quilted.
Exactly. It's that simple to do. So we hope you enjoyed this quick little tutorial on clear blue tiles. Hey, as we wrap things up for today on 3 Things at 3, I just want to remind you that we have an upcoming show all about the difference maker. And we are looking for your stories. If you know of someone who is a difference maker in their community or even in their home, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email, info at mygirlfriendsquiltshop.com, and share with us a little bit more about that person. Tell us what they're doing to make a difference in the lives of those around them. We want to hear about it.
Put Kleenexes on your grocery list for this week, because I think next week is going to really touch some hearts.
I have a feeling it will too.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really special. So we hope you'll join us for that and be a part of the community that we're building here at My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop. All right, friends, well, that wraps things up for us today. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you, Miss Allison.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Hanging out.
Yes,
it's been a lot
anytime.
of fun. It really has. So have a great rest of your day, and we hope to see you again real soon. Bye-bye.